Welcome to Random Select. Please enjoy.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mario, and I would like to welcome you into another episode of Random Select. Let me just start off by saying Happy New Year to each and every one of you. I definitely hope this new year brings you something good, and I hope it turns out to be better than last year. But it also brings me to a great topic for today's show: New Year's resolutions. And do you find that you keep them and they are productive? For me, I find that most people cannot keep their New Year's resolutions. In fact, I think it's extremely counterproductive because let's look at it in terms of looking at it as a roadmap or a blueprint to where you want to go. Because ultimately, when you think about last year, if you're totally being honest with yourself and looking at this realistic, if you was having this conversation in the mirror with yourself and you didn't do majority of the things or even any of the things that was on your resolution list last year, all that did was give you a blueprint as to how you failed, a blueprint as to how your life is standing completely still. And for a lot of us, it's a blueprint as to how you've gone backwards. Because if you just looking at yourself right here today in the new year, and you looking back on how last year went, it can be kind of sobering, sort of humbling, a kind of a wake up call, because you're gonna say no matter what you did, you may have found love, you lost love. You may have was started out the year lonely and got somebody, but if you ended right back up in the same spot you were at, and you say that, wow, I remember me saying this same thing in 2014, that 2015 was going to be good. You look back at your life, same spot. 2015, you said that I was going to, I don't know, get that new job. I was going to get that promotion. I was going to finally buy that house. I was finally going to get that car. Yeah, that didn't turn out so good for you. Turns out that probably in 2015 you lost the job. In 2015 you broke up with that person that you thought was going to be your wife or your husband. In 2015 you ended up leaving your house, going back to an apartment or going back to your parents or something like that. But sometimes New Year's resolutions is one of those things that give you hope, give you that feeling that, hey, look, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to make a difference in my life. And studies have shown by the time February, not 3 or 4 months down the line, by the time the end of February, which is a short month, comes around, most New Year's resolutions have already gone by the wayside, gone out the window. So, especially when it comes to things like losing weight, drinking, smoking, stuff like that. Those are things go by the wayside extremely quick because we really think, right? Let's say you are a person of a certain age. Let's say at least 40, and let's say you've been smoking at least since, and I'm gonna be, generous with it. Let's say you've been smoking at least since you've been 20. Now at 40, your New Year's resolution is that you're gonna stop. So this is where we come in and we always fool ourselves because you think that you gonna actually stop doing something you've been doing for 20 years. And you think just because on December 31st / January 1st, you decide that once the calendar flip and the new year begins, I'm gonna stop instantly doing something I've been doing for the last 20 years. Now think about that, honestly, and truly think about that. You've been smoking for 20 years. But soon as the calendar flip over, you think that a habit that you've grown to love, a habit that has become more than a habit, has become a lifestyle, a life choice. But because the calendar flipped, because it's January 1st now, you decide a 20-year lifestyle, I'm just going to stop in one day. Now you see how that can set us up for failure. Because just common sense and the law of averages say that that's not going to happen. I mean, it could possibly happen, depending on what type of will and intestinal fortitude you have. But since you've been doing it since you was 20, means that the willpower and the intestinal fortitude that I just sort of kind of gave you credit for has really not been there. Because I'm pretty sure, and I've known plenty of smokers in my life, and I too occasionally have a cigar every once in a while. The first thing, it's not if you've been smoking for 20 years, and this is not the first time you decided that you're gonna quit. This is not the first time that someone has begged and probably pleaded with you, doctors included, to stop smoking, right? So I'm just trying to establish the pattern, how New Year's resolutions kind of are just, as we like to say in the hood, you just talking to hear yourself talk. It feels good, Hope springs eternal. That's one of those type of things where you just feel, hey, it's a new year. I got to turn over a new leaf. I got to do something different. Because in your mind, you know that the way you're going about it now is not healthy. It's not good. It's detrimental to your life. And deep down inside, you know you need to change. But it is extremely hard to change a 20-year habit at the flip of a switch. So I look back at 2016 for myself. I'm sorry, I look back at 2015 for myself, and I looked at the goals that I had. I had 10 goals that I wanted to set out and accomplish. I remember me sitting down at my desk and said, okay, this is what I want to accomplish. I sealed it. Never once went back to look at it because I felt strongly about this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to approach it. When the clock struck midnight, called all my friends, the ones that you truly care about or that you care to say Happy New Year to. Said Happy New Year, and I said, okay. One things that I did accomplish was that I was going to sit there and actually remember to open this letter to see did I accomplish any of my New Year's resolutions. So that's one I did accomplish. So I got 9 more to go. Looked at the list and realized out of the 10 things on my list, I had only accomplished 3. And I just told you one of them. So that really kind of don't count as anything significant that I've done. And the other one was start the podcast. Bam, got that one out the way. And the other one was just on a personal level, I did accomplish that. So if this was a test, I would have flunked. I would have got a 30% out of 100. Out of a potential 100, my score would have been 30. And it was a little disappointing because, honestly, it was things on the list that I totally forgot about. Which goes back to what I'm saying. If you're not living it, breathing it, just making it your way of life, the way you made cigarettes your lifestyle, the way you may eat in your lifestyle, the way you may drink in your lifestyle, the way you may be an adulterer your lifestyle, the way that some people make hard work their lifestyle. If you don't eat, sleep, and breathe the stuff you want to change, it'll never change. Because me personally this year, the only thing I really want to focus on is stop eating meat. I mean, I really believe from all the research that I've seen, all the things that I've come across, that I I really want to give up meat, but it's hard though. I mean, that's one of those things where you could drive past, like, I don't know, Burger King. When you smell the flame ball coming out the roof, it smells great. Drive past a steakhouse or something, you just smell it, barbecue house. You smell it, and it's great. And I know that it's hard to do. I know this through and through. It's something that has to happen. It's something that we as people got to stop doing to ourselves. Because if you're not willing to be committed to changing something in your life and making a part, a permanent lifestyle change, then all you're doing is just pretty much either writing down words or just telling yourself words, because somebody always going to come along and remind you that, I thought you said you were going to do this. I thought you were on a diet. I thought you said you were going to stop smoking. I thought you said you were going to stop drinking. I thought you said you were going to stop messing with him. I thought you said you were going to stop messing with her. Stuff like that. And the bottom line to all of this is that it's not just 1 year or 2 years. Go back 5 years. And look at all the resolutions. Just try to remember all the resolutions you said that you wanted to do, you wanted to try to accomplish. And with that being said, you will see a pattern in your life that really needs to change. And I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm not knocking anybody. This whole subject came about by me totally just looking at my life straight up. I'm not judging anybody. This is strictly off of looking at my life. I'm thinking about all the resolutions I've made over the years, all the things I said that I wanted to do over the years. Soon as that calendar flip over, all of a sudden, like I said, the hope springs eternal. We feel that, okay, I may have screwed the previous year up, but by golly, I'm going to get this year right. And like I said, you start off with good intentions. You start off really and truly in your heart and in your soul really want to do it. But then, like I said, old habits creep back in. And I don't even want to call them old habits, because it's not old about it. Just your regular habits that you do on a day in and day out basis have creeped in. Your lifestyle has turned back on, because all you did for a brief moment was just turn your current lifestyle off. And then when something goes awry, something knocks you out your comfort zone, the first thing you do is seek your comfort zone. And what is your comfort zone? Your old lifestyle. So I'm just saying, be leery and be full aware of the changes you say you want to make. They must, above all else, without any interference, become a lifestyle. Become something that you eat, sleep, and breathe, and just feel you have to have. Because if you don't approach it in that manner, if you don't go with it with such vigor, it's not going to take much for you to revert back to what you're trying to get away from. I mean, it's like somebody giving you, a new pair of shoes. Yeah, it's good. Everybody want a new pair of shoes. But right at the beginning, it feels stiff. You haven't worn them in yet. It feels like uncomfortable, kind of tight on your foot. And the first thing you do is come home from work after wearing those new shoes, kick them off. And if you got to go back out the door, the first thing you're going to say, them shoes tight. Let me get my old shoes. And that's what happens. You wanted to try to eat healthy. You wanted to try to get that salad. But you come out and say, them old shoes, those new shoes just ain't right. That salad just don't taste good to me. So let me grab my old shoe, which are more comfortable, which is McDonald's, and which is Burger King, which is Wendy's, which tastes so much better. And once again, I want to truly state I'm not judging anybody, because Lord knows this is me in a nutshell. can start off strong, saying that I want to change, but then before you know it, you got A1 steak sauce dripping down your chin because I'm going to Hardee's. I want me a thick burger. So I'm just saying, this year, my ultimate goal is to transition myself and my body and my life from meat. That's my only thing I got going on that I really want to say. I mean, I got other goals, but I don't want to make them, like a New Year's resolution. This is stuff. My other goals are stuff that I absolutely have to go after. Absolutely have to achieve. So I don't even put that on the list because that's the stuff I need to do for my life, for my family, for my well-being. So my resolution, though, the one thing that I say I really want to change is to get meat out of my life. So getting back to what I was originally trying to get to, the point I was trying to make is that when you make those resolutions and then you look back at them and you see how much you fail, I mean, year after year, time after time, it almost, when it gets to the point where it doesn't bother you that you can see this pattern of failure, that's a little concerning. That's a little disturbing that you've seen yourself fail year after year and it don't bother you. That means you're getting to the point where you're comfortable where you are. You're comfortable at the bottom. And what's even more disturbing, you so comfortable that you don't even mind staying there. And it's no knock on you. It's no knock on what's going on in your life. But you have to be real aware that you have become comfortable with failing. You have become comfortable with seeing a pattern of behavior that doesn't put you in a positive place, but you're okay with that. And that should be the most disturbing part of it all, that you've seen year after year of failure after failure, and you go, well, hey, get them next year. How are you ever supposed to get anywhere in life? How have you ever really supposed to know that feeling of accomplishing something that makes you say, if I accomplish this, then that means I can accomplish that. And if I can accomplish that, what else can I accomplish? The sky's the limit. But you don't think like that if you keep failing. You keep seeing one epic fail after another, one disappointment after another. And then all of a sudden it steams rolling to the point where you don't even expect nothing good to happen to you anymore. You feel in your mind that you don't deserve anything to happen good to you because you're just so used to things just going negative that if anything positive do happen to you, you start to talk about that negative. So just to wrap this up, I'm saying be very aware of the resolutions that you make, because sometimes seeing all your failures lined up in a row, I don't know, just don't put you in a good place. Just don't put you in a good mood. And even worse, like I said, if you get to the point where it don't bother you after you seeing yourself either standing still year after year, and for some of us going backwards year after year after year, and it don't bother you, then you might want to take a real good, truthful, hard look in the mirror and realize that something is definitely wrong, So I want to thank you guys for listening to me ramble on again. I want to thank you for tuning in to Random Select. I am your host, Mario, and you can find us at therandomselect.com. Please go to the website, check out some of the blogs. You can find each and every episode of Random Select up on the website. You can also find us on YouTube. Just type in The Random Select Podcast, and we should pop up. I would love for you guys to go on, subscribe, and support us. Every little bit helps, and we appreciate every little bit. I can promise you that. And we're also on Twitter. That's random select that's at random select, and that's select with two T's. You can also follow us on Twitter. We'll be more than happy to follow you back just to see what's going on out there. We're also on Facebook, random select. Come on, like us, follow us. Leave comments, and just support us. And the love you show us, I promise you, we'll show it back. Until then, people, this is Mario, and this is Random Select, and we're out.
You have been listening to Random Select. Thank you. Goodbye.